Imagine for a moment you are living in a small town and suddenly, you start receiving anonymous letters revealing your deepest secrets. This is not a plot of a horror film, but a chilling reality that befell the residents of Circleville, Ohio, in the late 70s and early 80s. Welcome to the bewildering world of the Circleville Letters Mystery. Our tale begins with the first letters received by a school bus driver named Mary Gillespie. Mary was just an ordinary woman, living an ordinary life, until one day in 1976, an unmarked envelope arrived at her doorstep. Inside, she found an anonymous letter accusing her of having an illicit affair with the school superintendent. The letters were written in block letters with no return address or any sign of the sender. The accusations were explicit, detailing an affair that Mary vehemently denied. The letters threatened to reveal her alleged indiscretions to the town, creating a wave of fear and anxiety that swept over the Gillespie household. But the terror didn't stop at the Gillespie's doorstep. Soon, Mary's husband Ron also received a letter. The tone was icy, the message clear. Ron was to put an end to Mary's supposed affair, or the anonymous sender would take matters into their own hands. The letters were relentless, each one more menacing than the last. They knew intimate details about the Gillespies, details that were supposed to be private. The writers seemed to be watching their every move, turning their quiet, small-town life into a living nightmare. And so, the enigma began. Who was behind these letters? Why were they targeting the Gillespies? And how did they know so much about their lives? The answers to these questions seemed as elusive as the shadowy figure penning the letters. As the Gillespies tried to make sense of their predicament, the letters continued to pour in, each one a chilling reminder of the unseen threat lurking in the shadows of Circleville. A threat that knew their secrets, watched their every move, and was not afraid to make them known. And as if the situation couldn't get any more disturbing, it did. The letters didn't stop, they became increasingly threatening, and then, a tragic event occurred. The small town of Circleville was rocked to its core in August 1977, when Ron Gillespie, one of the letter recipients, met with a fatal accident. This was no ordinary accident, mind you. Gillespie, a school bus driver by profession, received a phone call on one fateful evening. The call, believed to be linked to the mysterious letters, left him visibly upset. He left his home in a rush, his intentions unknown, only to be found later that night in a crash. Gillespie was pronounced dead on the scene, and circumstances surrounding his death were as puzzling as they were tragic. The initial investigations ruled it as a tragic accident, attributing it to Gillespie's elevated blood alcohol level. But there was something that didn't sit right with the people of Circleville: the fact that Gillespie was not a drinker. This contradiction led to whispers of foul play, raising questions that begged for answers. The plot thickened when a mysterious letter landed at the sheriff's office. The author of the missive claimed that Gillespie's death was not an accident, but a well-executed murder. This revelation sent shockwaves throughout the community, turning the once peaceful Circleville into a hotbed of fear and suspicion. The anonymous letter writer, now seen as a potential murderer, continued their campaign of terror unabated. The sheriff's office, spurred into action by the letter, reopened Gillespie's case. But despite their best efforts, the investigation hit a dead end. No evidence could be found to support the claim of murder, leaving more questions than answers in its wake. The letters, however, continued to circulate, each one more menacing than the last, keeping the town in a constant state of fear and unease. But the terror was far from over. The Circleville Letters mystery was just warming up, setting the stage for more chilling events that would continue to haunt the residents of the small Ohio town for years to come. The question remained, who was behind these letters, and more importantly, what did they want? In 1983, the letters took a sinister turn. A dangerous trap was set, leading to an unexpected arrest. Now, we're diving into the depths of the darkness that lurked in the shadows of Circleville. One day, Mary Gillespie, a school bus driver, made a chilling discovery along her usual route. Hidden in a roadside sign was a booby trap, rigged with a gun, aimed directly at her. The letters had escalated from threatening words to a tangible, life-threatening reality. And who was the name inscribed on the booby trap? None other than Mary's brother-in-law, Paul Freshour. This revelation left the town in a state of shock. Freshour, a seemingly ordinary man, a family man, was now the main suspect in this terrifying campaign of terror. But Freshour was adamant. He claimed innocence, insisting he had no part in the letters or the trap. Yet, the evidence was stacked against him. His gun matched the one found in the booby trap, his handwriting appeared to be a match to the letters, and his relationship with Mary was strained, to say the least. Despite his pleas, Freshour was arrested and charged with attempted murder. The jury found him guilty, and he was sentenced to 7 to 25 years in prison. The town breathed a sigh of relief, believing the reign of the Circleville letter writer had come to an end. But the question remains, was Freshour truly the author of these menacing letters? His steadfast denial, even behind bars, planted seeds of doubt in some minds. And then there's the troubling fact that the letters didn't stop after his incarceration. They continued, striking fear into the hearts of Circleville's residents, and casting a long, unsettling shadow of doubt. But could the real author be still out there? As we delve deeper into the Circleville Letters mystery, we must keep our minds open to all possibilities. The unseen stalker may still be hiding in plain sight, a faceless figure in the crowd, holding a pen dripping with unsettling secrets. Despite the arrest, the letters didn't stop. They continued, even reaching far beyond Circleville. The small town of Circleville, Ohio, remained under the shadow of the enigmatic letters. Even with Paul Freshour behind bars, a man many believed was the author of these unsettling messages, the letters kept coming. Here's where things get more perplexing. Freshour was in prison, with no perceivable access to mail. Yet the letters kept pouring in, each one as unsettling as the last. This was a time when prison correspondence was heavily scrutinized. Every letter in and out was screened by prison authorities, making it virtually impossible for Freshour to continue his supposed campaign of terror. But the mystery didn't just confine itself to Circleville. The letters began to spread their wings, reaching far and wide. One such destination was the production office of the television show Unsolved Mysteries. The show, renowned for its exploration into the unexplained and the mysterious, took an interest in the Circleville Letters case. The letters sent to Unsolved Mysteries were eerily similar in tone and content to those that had been rattling the residents of Circleville. They carried the same chilling threats, the same cryptic messages, and the same sinister undertone. It was as if the author was toying with the investigators, daring them to uncover his identity. So, we're left with an enigma wrapped in a riddle. The letters continued despite Freshour's imprisonment, and they began reaching locations far beyond the confines of Circleville. It's a mystery that has baffled investigators for decades, and one that continues to intrigue true crime fans across the globe. The Circleville Letters case is a chilling reminder that sometimes, the truth is stranger than fiction. And as we delve deeper into this mystery, we're left with more questions than answers. So the question remains, who was behind the Circleville Letters? The Circleville Letters mystery remains unsolved to this day. It's a chilling reminder of how easily our lives can be disrupted by an unseen threat. This haunting tale began in the late 70s, when residents of Circleville, Ohio started receiving anonymous letters filled with intimate details about their personal lives. The letters soon escalated into a campaign of fear and intimidation, with threats, harassment, and even blackmail becoming the order of the day. As the mystery intensified, suspicion fell on a local bus driver named Paul Freshour. Despite a lack of concrete evidence, Freshour was convicted and spent a decade behind bars. However, the letters didn't stop. They continued even during Freshour's time in prison, casting doubt on his guilt. Theories have been floated around suggesting that Freshour was not the author of the letters. Some believe that he was framed by a vindictive relative or a jealous lover. Others propose that it could have been a prank gone wrong, spiraling out of control into a dark obsession. There are even whispers of a conspiracy involving multiple individuals acting in tandem to terrorize the town. Despite exhaustive investigations, the identity of the letter writer remains a mystery. The letters stopped as abruptly as they started, leaving behind a trail of fear, suspicion, and unanswered questions. Was Freshour truly innocent, or was he a master manipulator who managed to continue his campaign of terror from within the prison walls? Or was there another person or persons lurking in the shadows, penning these ominous missives? We may never know the truth behind the Circleville Letters, but the mystery will continue to haunt us, reminding us that sometimes the scariest monsters are the ones we never see.